Hi everyone, my name is Kajal Galotra and in this video we will be talking about instance main method. We all know execution of a Java code starts from this static main method, right? We have a syntax that we always have to follow, which is public static void main, then string array and arguments, right? But this is very difficult to understand for a newcomer, right? For a beginner. And let's say a person is coming into Java, he wants to try out Java, and now whenever he wants to print hello world, at that time he has to do everything. So point is, teachers or maybe instructors cannot teach this to a beginner, right? So Java 22 has a feature which is instance main method, and this feature came out as a preview feature of Java 21 as well. Now this feature is live with Java 22, but as a second preview feature. Preview feature is a feature which may be continued in next version of Java or may not be continued. So now let's try to understand what exactly is this instance main method. If I'll talk about this main method, we have a public. Public stands for access modifier. It can be accessible from anywhere of the code. Then this static represents that this main method is not associated with the object, but it is associated with the class name. This void represents the return type of this main, which is void. In any case, it will not return you anything. Main is the name of it, and this is string array arguments. This string arguments is used whenever you want to pass any data from outside of your code. Let's say you want to run a script and you want to pass some values inside your script from outside of your code, then you can pass it in the string array of. Okay, if I just run this method, you will able to see that I'm not passing anything in the arguments. That's why these arguments are not getting printed. But if you want to pass values to this argument, then you just have to click on this edit configuration and you can see this program arguments and you can pass whatever you want to pass. Click on apply and just click on OK, and then I'll just run this method and you will able to see that everything you wanted to pass is coming here. Everything present inside this method is useful, but it is very difficult for a beginner to understand, right? So what Java 22 has done, that first of all, you can remove this public, you can also remove this start. Okay, you can also remove the parameters. So if you will remove the parameters, you cannot print it. So Java 22 says you can have a main method, and from that main method you will able to run it. If I'll just click on this run method, you can see that I'm still able to run this. Hello world is still getting printed. This method, this main method is not a static method, but it's an instance level method. Now I'll just remove the default constructor of it, and let's say I have an instance level string, so I'll say private string temp, and inside this main I'll pass string temp t maybe, and I'll say temp equals to t. I did by default a default constructor which gets added by the Java compiler that I have removed. I'll create one more constructor which is a default constructor. Once I'll add this default constructor, you can see that now the button is enabled. So internally it is creating an object of this main, and from that main object this main method is getting called. If you will remove this default constructor, then object creation will not be happening, and then you cannot call this main method. Okay, so this default constructor is very important. Now let's try to make one more method which is void main, and I'll pass string arguments s. Now you can see that whenever I'm passing the arguments to it, at that time the execution is getting started from here. No matter how many mains you have, it will always get started from wherever you are passing the arguments. You cannot pass it here because it will give you an exception that the same method is already present. So you have to pass the parameters only in the one method, right? Or you cannot pass the same parameters in both of the methods, because then it will just throw an exception that same method is already present. Now let's try to make one static method, static void main, and then after I'll try to call it. So if you will try this, it will again give you an exception because this main is already present. But no, I'll make string s, then it is again giving you an exception that same method is already present. Okay, so you cannot declare the static and the same instance level method. So if you have a method in which you are passing string arguments, in that case this execution will get started from that method, no matter that method is static or instance. Now user is not required to understand everything like public, static, arguments, maybe string array, right? So beginner is not required to understand now all of this thing. If you will try to achieve this feature while running it in IntelliJ, then you might face some kind of issues. You should not be selecting your Java language to be this Java 22. If you will select your language to be this unnamed variables and pattern, then you will not able to see what are the features that are present in the preview feature of it. But if you want to see the preview things as well inside your IntelliJ, then you have to run this, or you have to select this language, which is Java 22 preview, statement before super and string template, etc. Then you have to select this, and then only you will able to see this. Also you can see whenever I'm running this, it is running with this enable preview with it, and that's why I'm only able to see this functionality of main method. If I'll just try to run with Java 22, which is a stable version, then you will not able to see the preview changes, right? So you make sure whenever you want to run or whenever you want to try this feature, then you should be selecting the preview feature of Java 22 inside your language level. There is one more thing that you can try with whenever you're trying your main method. Now instead of giving name to every class, you can declare some implicitly declared classes. So the point is, now you're not required to provide name to every class. So for example, I'll remove this public class main, because main class is gone, so you have to remove these constructors because now main is not understandable. I'll just remove the constructors and I'll remove this close braces. Now you can see this is still running fine. Or I'll just print one statement so that you can see that hello world is still getting printed. I'll just run this and you can see the hello world is still getting printed. So right now I have not defined my class name, I have not defined my package name, I have not defined anything, but I just started it from the main method, and then after I'm just printing any statement, right? And that statement is getting printed. Now if you want to see what is going on internally, if you want to see the compiled code of this class where I have not defined any name to this class, you can see this is my main.class, right? And inside this main.class, by default compiler is creating a final class by the name called main. Why this class is final? Because you cannot extend this class because we do not have any name to it, right? By default the final class is getting created, and inside this class we have this instance level variable by the name called temp, and which you can see inside the compiled code of it. Now I think this is very much easier for a beginner to understand. Now I have a question for you, for every one of you. You have to tell me if this java.class is a compiled code, if this code is compiled code of this main.java. Compiled code is a code which is present in the byte form, right? Which can run on any machine. So now you have to tell me if this main.class is a byte code, then how am I able to read it? Why this code is not visible to me as a byte code? So that is my question. If you know it, comment down below, and if you don't know, then comment down, I'll just give you the answer to this. Thank you so much for watching.